Hey guys, Tyler Dowse here from Ty's Torque Talk. Today we're going to be looking at the 2026, the Chevrolet Equinox EV in the RS trim. This is the all-wheel drive version, so not the front-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive is going to have two electric motors in here instead of just the one. It's going to be packing a lot more power. We're going to be getting into those numbers very shortly here. But anyways, the Equinox name, everybody knows it's been around since 2005 when they released the first gas-powered one, and then in 2024 they brought it back with an electrified version. Now we're in 2026, couple small, slight, subtle changes between 2024 and 2026. But anyways, today we're going to be going over a little bit of everything. We're going to be talking about the exterior, interior, going over all the tech features, everything like that. Take it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get to it. Okay, let's start this off with popping the hood here. See what's powering this Equinox EV RS. So, first thing I gotta say is I was really hoping for a frunk. That's one thing I do like about EV vehicles is just that little bit of added extra storage capacity, having a frunk. This one you get the whole, electric motor set up in here, battery packs, all that sort of stuff. But anyways, powering this thing, we got an 85 kilowatt hour battery pack. In the all-wheel drive version, you're going to be pushing out 300 horsepower, 355 pound-feet of torque. The range on this model with the all-wheel drive is 306 miles or 494 kilometers. 0 to 60 time in it is 5.7 seconds, and the overall weight of this vehicle comes in just over 5,000 pounds. Definitely a little bit heavier than that's gas-powered version of the Equinox, but that's about it for powering. Let's go talk about the exterior styling. Okay, so starting things off here at the front end, let's talk the exterior styling. So the Riptide Blue, I really like this color option here with the two-tone, blue on the bottom, black top roof. I think it does look really, really sharp. And then up here for the hood, kind of arches up a little bit on either sides, and you have a very kind of slight line going straight down the middle. It's more of a relaxed, not super aggressive, crazy pronounced lines, which isn't a bad thing. It's just everything is just kind of smooth, like smoother edges and everything in this one. But as you work your way on down here, you got the full LED light bar that goes all the way across, and then you have the LED turn signals on either end there. You got the blacked out Chevy bow tie. This does have the forward-facing camera in this pack with the full 360 camera pack, I guess I should say. And then you do get some functionality with for the grille on this vehicle here, if you want to call it that. You get a little bit of air coming in up top here and a little bit down below there. That's going to help cool down those electric motors and the batteries and everything. And then you got this gloss black portion right here, smack in the middle with your red RS logo. But on this gloss black portion, it has almost like a diamond sort of textured look to it to kind of maybe sort of resemble a grille. That's one thing I'm going to miss actually in the future when all vehicles are electric and everything's just flat front ends and kind of more plain looking. But anyways, it's nice that you do get a little bit of that functionality though on the top and bottom of that portion there. And then you do get this gloss black splitter down here at the very bottom. And then these are full LED daytime running lights, headlights, and high beams. When you move on over to the side here, you do have functional air curtains pushing air over top the tires there. This whole top portion of this trim all the way along here, that is all carbon fiber trim. It's not real carbon fiber, but it's carbon fiber trim for that RS trim to kind of make it look a little bit more sporty and cool. You're gonna see a lot of black accenting, obviously with a whole black top roof throughout the whole look of this vehicle. But let's go check out the wheel tire setup now on this. Okay, so wheel tire setup here on the Equinox EV. What we're looking at are 21-inch rims, and that's gonna be completely just standard on the RS trim in this gloss black look. It's riding on Continental tires. The thing that I do really actually appreciate about the design aspect of it is Chevrolet didn't try to just go over the top with like a super overly modern, like futuristic kind of looking rim that you see on a lot of electrified vehicles. Same kind of with the overall look of this vehicle. It doesn't look like it's a production year of 2045, which a lot of manufacturers are just, like I said, they just try way too hard to make it look super futuristic. But this actually looks like more of like a normal vehicle's rim, which I really appreciate. And then it's also outlined here. The wheel well is in gloss black and it actually shoots down the side, which we're going to have a closer look at in a second here when we do the side profile. But I'm glad they didn't go cheap out plastic on this wheel well trim. I think the gloss black looks really sharp. Okay, side profile time here. Like I mentioned a second ago, gloss black wheel well trim. Shoots out along the side here. The black skirting on the bottom gives a really good look. If I'm going to be buying an Equinox EV, hands down, without a doubt, it's the RS trim, right? I love this two-tone look to it. The Riptide blue, the black skirting, the black roof. I think it looks, it's a really good look for it. One thing I really appreciate that Chevrolet did is they didn't go overly crazy fancy-pantsy with the charge port door, right? It's not one of the ones you have to like wave over or clap your hands or click your heels 3 times or something and then it opens. It's just a good old-fashioned, you push it in, pull the door open. It's not gonna break, right? If it's minus 30 outside, the sensors aren't gonna fail and blah, blah, blah. Inside here, you do have the capability for DC fast charging. So on a DC fast charger, you can charge the battery up in this vehicle from 5% all the way up to 80% in just 48 minutes, which is a really good competitive number. Then at the bottom here, you got the Equinox name with the blue E on it to let you know that this is a fully electrified EV vehicle. Gloss black mirror caps, love it. You got the cameras on the bottom on either side there for that full 360-degree camera group. And then here, you got the door handles. Sorry, I've screwed with the settings a second ago. Oh yeah, see, there you go. Pull out the key fob, go right near the vehicle. The door handles pop open. If you just touch them, then they'll go back flush with the body. I'm messing up the system right now because I keep waving this key fob around. But if you hit the lock button, same thing. Or if you just walk away from it in general, the doors will lock. Or when you just come by and approach it, then they'll pop back open and everything. But anyways, the whole black top, you get the black roof rails up top there as well too. But why don't you guys come around back, let's talk about the rear end styling on this EV. Okay, back end time here. You got the big light bar, stretches all the way across. It's kind of neat because it's wide lights here that kind of get smaller and smaller and smaller and taper down in size the closer you get to this blacked out Chevy bow tie there in the back. But anyways, whole back end here, kind of like how it almost like flattens right out. They should have made it like completely flat to like rest a coffee cup up on top of that. But anyways, up here, you get your rear view mirror camera, has a little spritzer on it as well too, and so does your backup camera. So if when the system senses that those cameras are dirty and you use the windshield wiper fluid, it'll spritz off those cameras to kind of clean them up. Top, you got the shark fin antenna there. It's coming on down. I do actually really like the lights on the back end of this. I wish that I even think that the gas power Equinox should adopt the look of this. Even just the side lights, I think they just look really kind of cool and very modern. But anyways, working your way on down, all gloss black all along the bottom. You got like a big kind of plastic diffuser sort of there. And you got the backup park sensors all throughout this. And you get more of that diamond fake grille kind of sort of look that was on the front fascia there. You get the blue E and the Equinox all-wheel drive. It's the RS trim. One thing I like that vehicles do, like in the GMC Yukon they did it. They don't do a whole lot of their other vehicles though, is if they take the rear windshield wiper blade, tuck it on up. If it has kind of a spoiler on the back, which this does, it just kind of cleans up this whole back end and makes it look kind of bigger, wider, and kind of cooler. But anyways, let's go pop open this trunk now, see how much storage capacity we get inside of it. We're here today filming this video at the one and only Okotoks GM just south of Calgary, Alberta. I'm actually part of a dealer group. We sell vehicles of every single make and model. If you live in Canada and have a loved one or yourself, if you're looking for a new or used vehicle, any make and model, reach out to me personally. My contact information is down below. I'd love to help you out. Anyways, without further ado, let's get back to the video. Okay, so trunk storage capacity in this Equinox EV. So one thing you got to keep in mind here is the EV version of the Equinox does have a bit of a sloping roof line. So you do lose a little bit of the height storage capacity when you do go with the EV. But overall, the numbers are actually quite good. So back here with the rear seats folded up, or upright, I should just say, like they are right now, storage capacity is going to be 26.4 cubic feet. And then when you fold those back seats down, it's going to be 57.4 cubic feet, which overall is not bad at all. Those are pretty competitive numbers in this mid-size EV segment. So there it is when it's all folded down. I like that they do actually have the body color latches there on the side, so that Riptide blue kind of pops and stands out a little bit. But overall, the storage in this is actually quite good. There's a lot of room inside. You're just a little bit height challenged, kind of like my wife. And then under here, you got a boatload of storage. It goes super deep down here. Got a cool little baggie there as well, but lots and lots of room. You get storage cubbies on the right-hand side here. And then you can also get this outfitted with like a privacy cover. There's your little slots for it there. You get a couple tie down points as well too on the sides, and LED lighting throughout. But that's about it here for the trunk. Let's go hop in the front seat now and see what this thing has to offer. Okay, going inside, passenger hand side here of the Equinox EV. You have a quick look at the interior. Start over here at the doors and we'll work our way inside. So one thing I do like about the Equinox EV specifically is this red trim here. So in the normal gas power Equinox and also in the Traverse RS, this whole portion here is all the deep red, kind of speckled sort of look. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm not a huge fan of this. This I like actually, how it's red over here and kind of tapers off into like that darker gray. I think it's a good look. There's, you got leather, with the fake leather at the top of the doors here, and then also on the armrest here, it is nice and kind of squishy padded armrest. And down here you do have an okay sized door bin. It's a little bit smaller than some others out there. Good sized water bottle holder inside there though. And then working our way on in, so no aluminum sill plate or anything like that on the door sill. Again, it's a price point thing. We want this to be a nice affordable EV SUV. But then have a look at the seats here. You got the RS logo there in the headrest. You get this kind of cloth shoulder portion there, and then the rest is this nice perforated leather. These are heated and ventilated front seats. Yeah, kind of pretty cool looking vents on here as well too. Yeah, the more traditional style vents in the center, then these are kind of very similar to the Camaro vents. You kind of open and close them side to side. Pretty neat looking. Overall, the dash, it is a nice softer touch, like that kind of same sort of fake leather material up over top there. You do get a good amount of storage inside this. So here's your nicely damped glove box, and you get a whack of storage underneath the center console. Right, you even get a little 12-volt charging port in there, and this is a rubberized bottom. So if you put things down there, like even say like coins or a cell phone, whatever it might be, they're not going to fly around just because of that rubber texturing in there. And then on up here, one thing I really wish that they would change with this is if it would, because it opens like this and it only opens like that. I wish the passenger had a button here as well too to flip it up that way, because it's kind of awkward for the passenger to get into the center console. But inside here, tires, torque unit of measurement, baseballs. So you get 3 baseballs in this top little cubby here, and then down below that you can get 8 more. You also do have a bit of ambient lighting down in that lower portion as well too. And then let's go climb on over to the driver's seat now and talk about the screens and some of the technology inside this vehicle. Okay, driver's side of the Equinox EV. So right here on the door panel, you're gonna get memory seating there for 2 people. And I can't remember if I mentioned this when we were on the passenger hand side, but you do get driver and passenger power seats with lumbar support. So you do get lumbar on the passenger hand side. So you'll notice right when you hop in, there is no start-stop button inside the GM EV vehicles. You just hop in with the key fob in your pocket. Everything comes to life. You can touch the brake pedal if you want it to go half a second faster as well too. But anyways, you have an 11-inch driver display screen, 17.7-inch infotainment screen there, which we're going to get to in just a second. We'll work our way on down here and move on up. So you got a nice little storage slot here on the side, couple USB-C charging ports, couple cup holders with some nice kind of not gloss black, it's like a gloss gray sort of trim there. And then you have your wireless phone charging pad on in here. So it's all rubberized again, just like that lower portion. And then it has edges on the sides there. So your phone kind of is hugged nicely in place there. And if you do take some tight corners, your phone's not going to go flying around on you. Then right above that, and it says dual zone climate control. And you do get some manual buttons in here. I hate that all manufacturers are going away from manual buttons. I love them. I know it's cheaper to throw everything inside the screen, but I love my manual buttons. But anyway, so up here you have the rest of your climate control buttons. Basically right in there, you have the ventilated seats and heated seats for the driver and passenger. And you do get a whole climate page in here. The only time personally that I would really hop inside this screen here is just to do the rear climate inside of it. Actually, it's a tri-zone climate control. I should have mentioned that. I said dual a second ago. But anyways, you have the normal looking vents there, the cool ones on the sides. And then you get the 17.7-inch infotainment screen. So I'm not going to go over absolutely every single thing, minor detail in this, because we'll be here all day. You can jump into vehicle status, get your tire pressure monitors. You have your energy usage page, your energy efficiency, which we're not going to be overly efficient today when we go for our fun little test drive here. Drive mode. Again, I really wish that it was just like a manual dial right there. I don't like that it's just all on the screen. But anyways, you do get some cool animations here. So you got normal, you got sport, snow and ice, and then my mode. When you go to my mode, you can hit the customize button. And you can customize the steering, the brake feel, acceleration feel, and motor sound. We'll actually turn the motor sound. It's already in sport. So you get a more of a louder oh when driving around, which I'll show you in a minute here. But moving on, the My Chevrolet app, you can control your vehicle from your phone, turn it on, off, adjust the temperature inside, check your, I was gonna say check your fuel, but check your battery life, I guess, in this case. You do get built-in Google and built-in Google Maps. So I love the fact that it has built-in Google Maps. I like that you don't have to go to the dealership, pay for updates, all that stuff. It's just going to update in real time. Sorry, this is in demo mode, so it's a little bit slower right now. But one thing that pisses me off, though, about the GM EV vehicles is there's no Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto. It's not in the Hummer EV, in the Sierra EV Denali, or AT4, and the Silverado EV, or the Blazer EV, the Equinox EV. I don't know why. It's because GM claims that their infotainment screen is better than Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And I will give it to them. They do have a great infotainment screen. It's highly responsive, very intuitive, extremely easy to learn and navigate through. But I just like having the option of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Right? So anyways, you got a charging page there. You can schedule charge times, all that fun stuff. You got a trailering page that has a full checklist inside of it. And you can go one by one and check off everything to make sure that you don't forget any stuff when you're towing. You got your trailer lighting test right there as well. The camera page. So this does have the full 360-degree camera package. Super nice high-resolution cameras throughout this. And then you do get a whack of different views that you can choose from. And then with these two buttons, you can do all of these same views, just forward or rear facing. And then moving on, you got the settings. That's a whole can of worms that I'm not going to open today because we'll be here all day. You do get a good amount of ambient lighting inside this vehicle that is very customizable. You can actually also set it to the drive mode. So for example, when you go into sport mode, your ambient lighting is going to go glowing in red, which is a nice touch. And moving on, you just got your Google Maps page. You do have a split screen view as well too when you click that up top. That's one thing I love about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is the fact that you can have like your maps up on one page and then like audio on the other. So I'm glad that since this doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, I'm glad that it does have this split screen page here. Then you also have your control button right up there. You can control your heads up display. So you can do the height, rotation, and brightness of it right there. There's your heads up display out on the windshield. And then over on the side here, again, one thing I'm not a big fan of is this. You click the light bulb button, that's your exterior lighting. So you do have automatic headlights and everything. And I get, since it is auto, like there isn't a huge need to have a dial. Again, it's just one of those things I like having manual dials. You have one pedal driving, so you can flick that on. You can adjust the level of it, so you can go off, normal, or high. We'll keep it on normal for now. So it's basically, it'll just apply regenerative braking when you release the accelerator. And it'll slow the vehicle down. You don't really have the need to actually hit the brake pedal there. And then you can turn your vehicle off by clicking that button or just hopping out with the key fob in your pocket. But anyways, moving over here, steering wheel setup here in this Equinox. I like GM steering wheels. They're nice look. Right, it's got a really good look. So you get the red cross stitching for the RS trim in there. It is all nice leather wrapped. It is heated as well too. But the whole left-hand side, that's all your cruise control options. This does have the capability to have Super Cruise. It's just not optioned in here. That's GM's semi-autonomous driving capability. But you do get adaptive cruise control. And there's your gap adjustment button right there. And then down below here, you do have the lane keep assist, which you can click on there. And it's an assist. It's not a lane centering. So all it does, if you're sliding, drifting out of your lane without your signal light on, it'll softly correct you and pull you back into the middle. It's not going to hold you smack dead right in the middle of the lane. Blacked out Chevy bow tie. I appreciate that. Then you have your Google Assistant button, your media button, the heated steering wheel, and then bottom right, the fun button here to pull up all the different screens of your infotainment screen there. So you can get your Google Maps up on there, your driver assistance page, your kind of clean screen, I call it here, which is very simple. And then back to this page here with like your date, time, and temperature and everything. I'm going to go on the dual gauge setup right there. And then you also do have a regenerative braking paddle on the back of the steering wheel there. And then you do get the buttons on the back here as well too for volume control on the right hand side, and the left hand side will be for seeking different songs or radio stations. Then over here underneath your fun vent, you have the electric park brake, that lane keep assist, your auto hold, a button to open up your rear hatch, and then a dial here. They do give you a dial actually for the, a manual dial, I should say, for the brightness of your driver display screen and the infotainment screen. When you work your way up a little bit more, you do have a full digital rear view mirror camera here. You can click the control button there, adjust the brightness, click it again, you can do zoom in and out and then tilt it up and down on the last page. And then up top you got your sunroof controls up there, because this does have a full length panoramic sunroof, which is a really nice touch in these mid-size SUVs. But that's about it here for the driver's seat. Let's go hop in the back of this Equinox and see how comfortable your rear seating passengers are going to be. Okay, back seat of the Equinox here. You do get same kind of looking seats here with a bit of cloth at the top shoulder portion. Also on the very bottom there, the safety or the child seat car seat, sorry, clips there are very easily accessible. In the middle, you do have an armrest with a couple cup holders. It is nice, soft, squishy leather. Then, so it is a tri-zone climate controls, and you can control it from the front there, but there's no dial or screen or anything here in the back. But you do have rear heated seats and a couple USB ports inside there as well. When I sit inside of the vehicle, here I have this front seat set up to exactly where I would be sitting, and I'm 6 feet tall on the dot. And I can't fully extend my feet, but I do have a lot of knee room. And honestly, overall, it is very comfortable in here. As far as headroom goes, I'm not touching. I do have like 4 fingers above my head when I do sit up straight. It is a comfortable back seat. I'm not, brushing. There's a good amount of room. And then the nice thing is it is a completely flat bottom floor. So if you are sitting in the center seat of the back seat here, you're not going to be, you don't have a huge hump there in the middle. And then you're not going to be fighting with the other 2 passengers in the back here for leg room. But anyways, let's go hop behind the wheel again and let's go take this thing out onto the road for a test drive. Okay, here we are driving the Equinox EV. We'll start things off right away here with a quick 0 to 60, see how it does. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and that's 100 right there. You know what, it accelerates pretty quick. It's not crazy fast right off the line. It almost feels like it has almost like a turbo leg to it kind of thing. It doesn't put 100% of the power down right at 0, but I'll show you when we take this corner here that when you accelerate from like 10 or 20 kilometers an hour or something like that, then it puts down the full power instantly. You get that instant, electric motor torque, which is great. I'm gonna let this guy get a little bit ahead of me here. But overall, I'm actually quite impressed with the EV, the Equinox EV. A lot of times when you drive full electric vehicles, just because you don't have that background motor noise to it, it gets kind of, the wind and road noise gets a little bit noisy. It's pretty nice and quiet in here. It's not like a Rolls Royce, don't get me wrong, but like it is pretty good. But anyways, I'll do a quick acceleration here from 20 kilometers an hour. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, see, there you go. And it puts down almost 100% of that torque right out the gates there. But that was 20 up to 116 right there, and it gets up there in no time at all. The amount of power in this, I definitely, if I was going to buy an Equinox EV, without a doubt, I would go with the all-wheel drive version just to get that 300 horsepower, 355 pound-feet of torque. The front-wheel drive single motor just doesn't have enough jam to it, with being like its horsepower just right in the mid 200s. Definitely, this is a good option to go with. But overall, like the comfort, luxury type features in here, the heated seats, ventilated seats, the customization here you get with the driver display screen and everything is really good, especially for the price point that it is at. I think that the Equinox EV RS all-wheel drive does offer a lot of value overall for an electric mid-size SUV. But anyways, that's about it here for the test drive. We're going to bring this on back to Okotoks GM and give them their Equinox back. We'll see you guys back outside. Okay, everybody, that's it, and that's all today for the 2026 Chevrolet Equinox EV RS all-wheel drive. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think about this Equinox. Do you guys like it, love it, hate it? How does it stack up against the competition? Let me know down below. But thanks for sticking around watching the whole video. If you're not a subscriber yet, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share button. All of them down below there. If you are a subscriber, though, thanks for sticking around, support the channel. We'll see you guys on the next one.